Jaclyn. Welcome here if you've never been here before. Otherwise, welcome back. Nice to see you. I thought we would go through my travel bag today since I just got back from a brief trip. I had some legal travel to attend to. I am now home and feel confident sharing with you guys what I used, what worked and what didn't, and how I would adapt this. Traveling is always a bit like that. It's a bit like, okay, you are gonna forget something, so you're bound to learn something from this experience. My makeup bag definitely experienced that as well, so I want to go through with you guys and show you guys what I take with me, things that I count on to be tried and true, and I'm not going to be doing tools in this tutorial. This is not a tutorial. I'm not going to be talking brushes so much in this video as I am strictly products. I hope this helps you. If it does, please give me a like down below so that I know to keep making videos like this. If this is not really your style, that's fine. You're welcome to put a dislike. That helps me know too. So don't feel like you can't do that. I just want to share with you guys what I brought, just so you have a little bit of perspective as to where I went. I traveled to the desert where I used to live. I was going to be sweating a lot more than where I currently am, so I just wanted to prepare and wear things that were going to be mattifying and long-lasting, and I'm just going to share with you everything that's in my makeup bag because I've not fully unpacked it yet, so I figured now's the time to do it. Let's jump in. I have my One Heck of a Blot primer, my foundation primer by Soap & Glory. I'm sure this is not a surprise to you. I went somewhere hot and I needed mattifying, so this was a huge help to me. It also helped to fill in my pores, any problem areas I had. As a result of being way too warm and sweating all day every day, I definitely had plenty of texture to cover up with a nice smoothing and mattifying primer, so this served me well. I would definitely do this again. This is something that I've learned to travel with just in case, and highly recommend. It's also in my favorites video, so if that doesn't tell you enough, I don't know what to tell you. Well, this is not order of application, but it makes sense to me. I brought this Photo Focus Wet n Wild Lash Primer, not because it's tried and true to me, but because I wanted to continue testing it out. I only got to use it once or twice though, so I'm still testing this, and I will update you guys on my thoughts once I have them gathered. For eye primer, the only eye primer I brought with me was this Essence I Heart Stage eyeshadow base. This is something that I received for free with a purchase from Ulta Beauty. I think I spent like $10 or $15 on Essence products, so I got this additionally with my purchase, and this is featured in another video. I will link that for you in the eye. I believe it should be here, but I did a full review on this and a wear test for you so that you can see. This I think is wonderful, especially for the price point. It keeps the shadows true to color and they wear beautifully. I really appreciate that this also cancels out any veininess of my eyelids, which is a prominent problem for me. If you share that interest and you're kind of a light to medium skin tone, I think you'll enjoy this product. For foundation, I brought with me the No. 7 Beautifully Matte Foundation. And this is one thing that I would change. If I could go back and repack my bag, I actually intended to pack both this and the Stay Perfect foundation, because this I have in more my winter shade and this is my tan shade. So I intended to bring both so that I could mix them. I prefer the formula on the Stay Perfect, as it truly does stay flawless throughout the day. It doesn't transfer, it doesn't cause me to produce more oil. It looks beautiful. It looks like skin. I also have a video about this. If you'd like to hear 5 minutes of just this product, I'll link that for you as well. I need to pick this up in my summer shade, however, I have not as of yet. That's why I was planning on bringing both. This one keeps me matte actually much better than this one can. So despite the name, it has a lot to do with skin chemistry, and this one just really jives with my skin chemistry. The Stay Perfect is beautiful and works really well with my skin type. In hindsight, that one should have gone with me before this one. However, this one made it in the bag. The other thing is this is a plastic bottle, whereas the Stay Perfect is a glass bottle. So there's also some risk involved in taking that. However, I did not check my bag, so I did not have any issue with breaking since I was the one handling my bag. I tend to like to do that with my makeup regardless. I tend to not check my makeup bag because I don't trust that things won't get broken, but that's just me being high maintenance. For concealer, I brought both the Tarte Shape Tape in light neutral, yes, and the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Creme Brulee. I love this concealer. This is fantastic for blemishes and any sort of high coverage that you need on the face. I think it's lovely. If you have particularly dry under eyes, you will not like putting this there. I would not advise it. However, how I've been wearing this recently, I've been wearing these together. So I've been wearing the Tarte Shape Tape all over my under eye. I will blend that out with my Maybelline sponge, which was the sponge that I brought with me on this trip. It's still wonderful. It's still going strong, and I love this. All my opinions on that can be found in a video as well. Again, after I've blended this out with the Maybelline blending sponge, I will take a little bit of this NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer on my ring finger and dab this just here, because on my bone structure, I just have this kind of deep set groove right here under my eyes. It's just an anatomical thing. It's not something that's wrong, but this is very brightening, so I will kind of tap this in that deepest portion and blend it out, and this really helps to brighten that area without adding tons and tons of heavy coverage. I can just use a little bit, and it's lovely. I really enjoy that, so I would stand by, make this same choice again. Both these concealers, they serve different purposes, and I love them. I also brought with me the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pen in the shade Light Universal. I think this was great. It did not wear badly. I didn't have any issues with sweat changing this pen at all. I was a little concerned about that because when it received a kind of large droplet of setting spray, it did cause the color to separate on me and for it to be kind of red and drip. It made me wonder about how this would perform under more perspiring style circumstances. And this did not do me wrong. So as far as I know, this withstands sweat a whole lot better than a big droplet of setting spray. So just an update on that for you guys. I think that was a good choice. I also brought the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder with me as my general brow filler. I don't really like to use the pen for my full brow. I just know it's going to dry out faster that way. I fill in the majority of my brows with this. This is also what I'm wearing in my brows today. I would do this again. I think it's wonderful. It wears well. Again, I'm not someone who really touches my face when I have makeup on because I just think it's more bacteria than necessary. I'm not someone who's like wiping and saying that this is withstanding it, but this did withstand me, you know, perspiring, creating a lot of shine all over my face. I did blot and that sort of thing, but I didn't notice my brows disappearing at any point. So that decision I would also make again. For brow gel, I brought both the Essence Make Me Brow in case I didn't have time to do a full brow routine, and the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. These are both old favorites of mine. Obviously, I would take them again. Same goes with the Physicians Formula Liner Plus Lash Boosting Serum. I think I said it backwards, but you guys know what this is by now if you've seen a couple of my videos. I love this. I currently have the brown shade open, and that's what I brought with me. Love it. It's great. It is not waterproof. The packaging says it's waterproof. It's not. It's water resistant, at least for my chemistry, but just FYI, just wanted to get that out there. Powder products. I brought my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Medium. I just was anticipating a problem with breakouts and needing some extra coverage, and I was correct in that assumption. So definitely glad I brought this along to kind of do a little bit of finishing powder in case I lost any coverage when I was setting over blemishes. I really like this for additional last minute coverage when you find that you need it. For an overall setting powder, because I didn't currently have an e.l.f. HD powder that was up to date, I decided upon the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Now, this is not to be confused with their universal setting powder, which does not alter the finish of the foundation or the concealer or whatever you're setting. This is a mattifying powder. This one is what a lot of people use for baking. For me personally, this is not my favorite of the Laura Mercier setting powders. I actually prefer the universal. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of kind of hating reviews here on YouTube on that powder specifically, whether they bought it by mistake or whatever. This is the small version of the translucent powder, which you can get in the travel beauty section at Sephora or Ulta, I believe. This is a great setting powder. It served me well on my face. It helped prevent shine. However, this is too dry for my under eyes, and it caused me a lot of issues. I was not happy with how my under eyes looked at all, and despite the amount of water I was drinking, I still felt very dehydrated. The desert does that to you. I just felt like all of my dehydration was showing right here, and it was definitely not helped by this powder. So though I would still pack this because it helped me in my T-zone, it helped me throughout the day as far as the wear of my foundation, this did not serve me well as an under eye setting powder. For a highlight, the only thing I brought with me is this tiny little sample size of the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. Now, the reason why I bring this, because I don't care if anything happens to it. Most of my highlighters take up more space than this. Actually, they all take up more space than this. And I would care if something happened to it. I have a full size of this, so I wouldn't care if this broke in my bag. That would be fine. I've used this many times traveling, as you can tell by just the wear in there. I mean, you can see the... You can see how far I've gone in that pan. It's a very generous pan. I think this was a part of a subscription bag at some point. I keep this specifically in my travel makeup bag to take with me. It works well as a face highlight, it works well as an inner corner and brow bone highlight, and I'm all for multitasking products when I'm traveling because space is of the essence and we need to make wise choices with the little bit of space that we have. So that's all I brought for highlighting purposes. Of course, I brought my Wet n Wild Creme Brulee Single Shadow because I don't know what to do with myself without this. I also brought my little fallback palette. The only thing that's changed in here since you saw it last is the blush. So I did have Makeup Geek Spellbound in here, the old formulation. I now have MAC Melba in here. That is one of my favorite blushes at the moment. I am wearing a little bit of this on my face, though it's not the color you're seeing. I added more blush later. This is a beautiful shade no matter what you're wearing. It's just a peachy pink, it's matte, and it's not going to draw any attention to texture, is why I brought it. I also brought my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Again, depotted, it's convenient, and it doesn't steer me wrong. It blends and applies. It looks like a luxury bronzer. It's beautiful. I brought my normal shadows with me, so I have Peach Smoothie, Creme Brulee, and Latte by Makeup Geek. Then I have MAC Woodwinked here, and another Makeup Geek shadow called Americano here in the corner. That is essentially the powder products I brought with me. Everything else, I mean, there's not a lot else left. I brought this Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick by L'Oreal. I picked up the shade Nudist most recently. I actually did not open this while I was on my trip because my lips were so dry I could not drink enough water to make my lips and under eyes look healthy despite much effort. So I did not crack this open until today actually to do the kind of center portion of my lip. This I would not pack in hindsight. My lips were too dry and it was not worth it. It took up space and was not used. For mascara, the only mascara I brought was the L'Oreal Voluminous False Fiber Lashes mascara. I really enjoy this mascara. However, I'm sad that I brought it because I believe that the dry weather just completely dried out this mascara. That's why I'm wearing a different mascara today, but I believe this may be past the point of saving, so I might have to repurchase this already, which is very sad to me. Would I pack this again? Yes, it did not steer me wrong. However, would it have been wiser to pack a wetter formula? Yes, it would have been. I probably would have been better off if I brought my CoverGirl Supersizer. It's a lot more of a wet formula than this one, and I may have just killed this one, unbeknownst to me. For setting sprays, that's the last thing I have in here. I brought my little mini MAC Fix Plus that I'm trying to use up. I didn't end up using this, though I thought I would, just because of how dry it is where I was going. I thought I would need it. However, the problem was more oil production. I had plenty of moisturization in the early stages, but I couldn't keep it going. May have helped if I kept it in my purse and remembered to spray it on throughout the day, but I just wasn't really, my thoughts were not that calm, cool, and collected like I normally am, so that didn't happen. And the other setting spray I brought with me, which I was really grateful for actually, is this teeny little Urban Decay all-nighter. And I received this with a purchase that I made recently. We'll get into that soon. If it goes up before this video, I will link it for you in the in this corner over here. It did serve me well. It helped kind of lock in my foundation. I experienced a lot less disappearing of the coverage throughout the day when I used this. I would pack this again. It was a good choice. That is the bottom of my makeup bag. That's all I brought with me. If you guys are interested in what brushes I brought with me when I traveled, please let me know down below. I would be happy to make that video for you too. Just don't want to make this too long, so let me know your thoughts. Do you have any travel makeup in common with me? I would love to know. Or if you have a suggestion for me based on something I like. I think that a lot of times when I'm watching someone's video, I'm like, oh, if they like this thing, they'll probably like this too. If you think you know something I would like, please tell me. I buy too much makeup, so, at least direct me on what I should get next. It was great to have you. Thanks for being here. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and until next time, keep dreaming.